GMB's Ed Balls goes missing from show as Susanna Reid hosts on her own. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please hit the subscribe. Now this start video. Good Morning Britain host Susanna Reid was forced to interview Labour MP Yvette Cooper alone on the ITV morning show, as her co-host Ed Balls stepped back. Ed Balls seemed to vanish during this morning's episode of Good Morning Britain. Susanna Reid was left to conduct one of the interviews solo today, when Yvette Cooper made an appearance on the show. Ed Balls is married to the Home Secretary, but he did not interview her to avoid a potential conflict of interest. When Yvette came on the show today to discuss the Prime Minister's plan to increase police presence on the streets and ensure every community has a named and contactable police officer, Ed was noticeably absent from the interview. There was no mention of Ed's absence from the interview, despite him having hosted the show all week, including today alongside his co-host Susanna, and participating in every other segment on today's show. One viewer commented, "Love how they've cut Ed Balls totally off our screens. Awkward. #him." While another remarked, Susanna Reid interviews the Home Secretary, who happens to be married to her co-host on the program today, #GMB. If Ed Balls can't interview the Home Secretary because of perceived bias, what's the difference with him interviewing a Labour minister? #GMB. A third wrote, with the fourth sharing their opinion on social media, stating, "Do not have #Yvette Cooper on while #Ed Balls is on. Can't they see how ludicrous this is? #him at GMB." Back in August, there were over 16,000 complaints after Ed interviewed his wife alongside Kate Garraway on The Breakfast Show. Dame Carolyn McCall, ITV's chief executive, reflected on a challenging broadcast moment, saying, "It was a very, very tricky morning. There was a national emergency almost being called, and so we got very short notice that the Home Secretary was coming on the show. She was doing a whole round of interviews, but it was unexpected, and we believe that it was fair and impartial. And actually Ofcom just ruled, but amazingly no one has picked up on the fact that Ofcom are not pursuing these complaints because they believe it's fair, balanced and impartial." She continued, "So would we do it again? No. Was it impartial, fair and balanced? And did they behave professionally? Yes. I mean, he asked her a few questions, but I think Kate was leading on that, wasn't she? And so I do think you've just got to say, if Ofcom have looked at it, and they're not pursuing this any further because they thought it was fair, balanced and impartial, that's it." Subsequently, Ed took a step back from an interview with Yvette and has not been seen on screen with her since. Susanna Reid takes the lead for her part. Susanna Reid managed the interview with poise and professionalism, diving into the pressing issues Yvette Cooper had come to discuss. Yvette addressed the Prime Minister's plan to increase police presence and her thoughts on how these measures would impact communities across the UK. Susanna steered the conversation expertly, but Ed's absence was palpable, especially for those who are used to the dynamic between the two hosts. Viewer opinions. A divided audience. The decision to sideline Ed Balls during the interview has left audiences divided. Supporters of the move argue that it was necessary to maintain the show's credibility. One Twitter user wrote, "It's the right thing to do. Can't have Ed interviewing his own wife about government policies. #GMB." But critics continue to call out what they see as hypocrisy. So it's okay for him to interview Labour MPs, but not his wife. The rules make no sense. #GMB. This debate underscores the fine line television networks must walk when balancing journalistic integrity with engaging content. Final thoughts. The absence of Ed Balls from this morning's interview with Yvette Cooper has reignited discussions about conflicts of interest, impartiality, and the role of TV hosts in political discourse. While ITV's decision to keep Ed off-screen during the segment was likely made to avoid controversy, it's clear that not everyone is satisfied with how the situation was handled. What do you think? Was ITV right to pull Ed Balls from the segment? Or does this highlight a larger issue of inconsistency in journalistic standards? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest news and controversies. See you next time.